a social media post, a presentation, and an image. I made all of these and more with a single AI tool using my once messy notes and documents. You see, I've been saving content for years. Bookmarks, YouTube videos, Google Docs, you name it. NotebookLM helped organize some of it, but that's where it stopped. It couldn't turn them into something I could share. YouMind did. So, let me show you why I switched. First thing you'll notice is that YouMind is built around boards. Think of a board like a project folder. Everything related to a topic goes there. As you see, I've got several boards, each for a different project, pretty much like NotebookLM. For example, here is the board I created to help me explore YouMind's features and write the script of the current video. The screen is divided into columns. The right one is where you chat with the AI. The main one is where all the creative outputs appear, and the left one is the menu area. There are 4 key icons here: your chats, your saved materials, your crafts, and publish. Let's start with the materials. This is where all your saved content lives. As you see, I've added several resources which I also organized into folders. I can add links or files by hitting the plus icon, pretty much like NotebookLM. Super handy if you got specific files or templates you want to utilize. But here is where it gets better. Unlike NotebookLM, YouMind lets you save things while you're browsing. To do so, you gotta install YouMind's browser extension. Once you've got it, you'll see a little ghost icon at the bottom right. When you hover over it, you'll notice that 3 new icons appear. The ghost icon gives you an overview of the page you are on, and it's not just a summary, you get key insights with a nice visual layout that makes everything easier to digest. Now, aside the insights, there are also a couple of other things you can do. This lets you discuss about this page's content. You enter a prompt and receive an answer that's 100% based on what's on the specific website. Then there is a languages button, which obviously translates everything to your language of choice. But let's focus on the most useful feature here, which is the save button. If you find a page that's worth saving, you can store it to one of your YouMind boards. When you save something, you pick which board it goes to. You can select an existing one or create a new one on the spot. Let's set up a new board called Prompt Engineering, where I'll gather all resources related to prompting. In addition to pages, you can also save YouTube videos. Check this out. Just make sure to transfer whatever you save to the right board. You can also save podcasts and, most impressively, images. This is something that NotebookLM can't do. And instead of saving a whole page, you can highlight just the parts you want and add only those to the board. Now, if I get back into the board, you can see what I just bookmarked. You can review any of these resources or material, as YouMind calls them, and you can also chat about each resource's content. To do so, just select the resource and then type your question. As you might expect, instead of chatting with just one resource, you can chat with the entire board at once, pretty similar to NotebookLM. But there are a few key differences. First, you get to choose between agent and ask modes. Put simply, agent mode is for building stuff, while ask mode is for having a conversation. This is pretty big of a difference. You see, NotebookLM stops at insights. YouMind actually helps you create. Second, NotebookLM locks you into Google Gemini. YouMind lets you pick ChatGPT, Claude, Grok, Gemini, etc. You are not stuck in one ecosystem. You get to choose the best AI for whatever you are doing. Okay, instead of ask, I'll enable agent mode. Now, I'll click at this little bulb icon. several options appear. These are YouMind's skills, which you can use to define to the AI what you wanna build. These are like custom GPTs or Gemini's gems. You can go for slides, images, documents, or even websites. I'll choose Write because for this example, I want help for crafting a LinkedIn post. So let's say I want to write a post about prompt engineering for AI enthusiasts based on everything in this board using the 4C framework. I'll also want it to be no longer than 150 words. And check this, YouMind scans everything within the board, processes my request, and a few seconds later, it's done. But where is the generated document? You can find the document in the crafts area. The output sits in the center column. On the right side, there is a conversation space where you can ask the AI for refinements. For example, I'll ask it to rephrase the post using the PAS formula. All changes are highlighted in purple, and I can choose to accept or reject each one individually or at once. What I love is that everything here works like a text editor. You can highlight a specific part of the text and format it as you wish. Obviously, you can also type, maybe delete things, and ultimately make the changes you prefer. Another cool thing you can do is have the AI refine a specific section instead of the whole document. You just select the part you want to change, click the little ghost icon, and then input your prompt. Like before, you can accept or reject the AI's changes. Oh, and here's another cool thing. You can upload new materials at any point and ask YouMind to use them. Watch this. I'll upload a document with some hook frameworks and then ask for 5 hook suggestions based on it. Alright, I'll now tell YouMind to use the 4th one and update the post. And that's what it did. When you are done, you can download your creation by clicking Export As. Alternatively, you can turn it into a public page just like you do with Notion. To do so, click the share icon. Now, anyone with this link can view the page. See? And since you can share this as a page, YouMind lets you make it look nice. You can insert callouts, images, files, and more. Let's add a couple of these things to beautify the page. Alright, here is how it looks online. Nice. Finally, you can also customize the visual style by clicking this icon at the top and then select whatever settings you prefer. And it's not just text that YouMind lets you make. For example, I'll have it make a PowerPoint presentation based on this board's content. To do so, let me first select the files from the board I wanted to use. Next, I'll prompt it to create a presentation about prompt engineering for beginners and include a slide covering the major LLMs and their logos. Before I hit run, I'll enable the slide skill and set the aspect ratio to what I want. After a while, the presentation is ready. Let's see what we got. Pretty accurate, both the content and the visuals are just as I asked. What's even more impressive is that you can ask YouMind to make adjustments to a specific slide or to the whole presentation. Maybe I could ask it to add a couple more slides on top of the existing ones. And just like that, there they are. Notice how the new slides match the same visual style as the original ones. Really impressive. NotebookLM fails to do that. YouMind comes packed with another interesting feature. Instead of selecting a predefined skill like those you saw earlier, you can build your own tailor-made assistants that operate on preset behaviors. There is a pretty extensive library of skills that includes skills made by others as well as those I created previously. But let's build a new one from scratch. To do so, click New Skill. Give it a name and then choose an icon. I'm going to build an assistant to help me craft social media posts. So I'm gonna paste the instructions I want it to follow. You can add as many sets of instructions as you wish. It's also possible to attach a reference document for the AI to use. Alright, let's now give it a shot. So back to our prompt engineering board. In a new conversation, I'm gonna run the same prompt as before. This time, instead of write, I'm gonna call the specific skill I just created that generates various posts for social media. See the difference? First, it asks me to select the formula I prefer it to use. I'll ask it to build 2 posts. It's done. Like before, to view the posts, I need to visit the crafts area. And here it is. Nice, 2 ready to share posts, just like I asked. And since I'm creating a social media post, why not ask the AI to generate an image to accompany it? But I'm not gonna switch to Gemini, for example. Everything can be done within YouMind. First, I'll start by entering my signature infographic prompt. Next, I'll pick the model and adjust the settings, aspect ratio, quality, and style. Alright, here we go. Great. Just like that, the image is ready to be downloaded. Nice, isn't it? And there's a lot more YouMind can do. For example, there is the typography tool that checks your content for mistakes. It's helpful, although it doesn't catch spelling errors yet, so it has some limitations. There is also the listen feature that reads everything out loud. You can even download the audio file, which is really handy. YouMind can also translate your content. The results still need some improvement, but I guess it's okay for quick drafts. My only complaint? No Android app. There is one for iOS, but Android users like me are left out. YouMind is a freemium tool. So if you want the full experience, I'd suggest going for one of the paid plans. It's worth it, and after upgraded, you won't have to pay for ChatGPT or Gemini anyway. You get the interface that does more than either of them individually. Look, I've tested a lot of AI tools, and after spending weeks with YouMind, I get it why I can't go back to NotebookLM. It's not just about organizing my stuff, it's about actually doing something with it. So, if you are a content creator, a researcher, or honestly anyone who saves a lot and wants to turn it into something shareable, YouMind is worth checking out. Sure, the interface takes a bit of getting used to, but once you do, it's pretty good. Now, there's one thing YouMind doesn't do, and that's building AI apps. If you want to see how to build AI apps that actually work, check the video shown on your screen. Till the next time, see you.